Good morning. As we continue to track the radar this morning, showing Hurricane Milton making its way fast and furious towards the west coast of Florida. It's the first time in more than 100 years Tampa will be in the direct path of a major storm like this.
So this is a timeline of when the storm is expected to hit. So as of right now, you can see that storm is expected to make landfall sometime within the next 24 hours. We're hearing, tonight was a possible landfall time frame too.
Well, thanks for waking up with us here on 13 Sunrise at 6 o'clock on your Wednesday. Right now, as we know, millions of people really trying to get out of Florida. What's being called a life or death situation. This morning, we have team coverage for you.
So Lindsay is in the Weather Center, of course, tracking this storm, but when it's expected to make landfall. And CNN New Yorker is in the newsroom with an update on Indiana Task Force 1.
First, let's start with Lindsay and that storm, but also how it certainly, we talk about affecting air travel, and especially for a lot of people here getting ready to have fall break. Good morning.
Yeah, and we are watching all of those departures out of the Indianapolis International Airport and all of these cancellations. Now, we knew yesterday a lot of those airlines and flights and airports that were down in Florida were going to close down in preparation of the storm. So Tampa, Orlando, Fort Myers, now smaller airports like Punta Gorda, Sarasota, all have canceled flights. And it's now starting to impact other airports that aren't in Florida, like Kansas City. So that trickle down effect of flight cancellations, just a good reminder to double check your flight if you do have one today, tomorrow, or really into Friday as well. We'll talk more about that storm track, but as you are heading out the door this morning, no, we've got some cool temperatures across central Indiana. We're now down to just 38 degrees for our friends in Marion. It's 43 in Tipton. Here in the city, now down to 51. Outlying locations have started to drop back through the 40s. Just 45 degrees in Martinsville right now. And then in southern Indiana, we've got more 40s on the map, 44 down in that Nashville area and 48 for our friends in Brown County. So we will continue to see these cool overnights and mild afternoons based on this setup that we've got right now. 66 at noon today, up to 76 for your high here in the Indianapolis metro. Sunny skies, quiet weather will take us through the rest of the week. As far as what's going on in the tropics, new information from the National Hurricane Center. This is still a Category 5 storm with 160-mile-per-hour sustained winds expected to make landfall around 2 o'clock in the morning in the Tampa Bay area as we look ahead within the next 24 hours. So we will keep you posted on that storm track. But we are talking about when hurricanes like Milton occur. We know Hoosiers always step up and they're ready to help. So to learn more about what they are doing, Indiana Task Force 1, that is, CNN New Yorker in the newsroom with the latest.
Yes, good morning. Indiana Task Force 1 first left Indiana 2 weeks ago for Hurricane Helene. They helped in that aftermath. Now the members of the team are getting ready for Hurricane Milton. Indiana Task Force team will wait out in the storm zone. They're waiting to get that assignment. Now they first left for Florida late last month to help with search and rescue efforts connected to Hurricane Helene. Since then, nearly 100 members have completed more than 400 searches. Now, nearly 100 members of the task force are currently deployed, and they are ready to serve the people affected by these storms. Right now, it is unclear when they'll return back home here to Indiana, but we wish them well. Ladies.
We certainly do. Thanks so much. And coming up at 7 o'clock on the Today Show, they will, of course, have live coverage from the western panhandle of Florida. We'll hear from Tampa's mayor in a live interview and the city as they race to prepare for a direct impact.
Yeah, and so while Florida is preparing for the worst, Hoosiers in North Carolina have seen the heartache.
Right now, the president of the Indianapolis Fraternal Order of Police is on his way back from Asheville, North Carolina. Dozens of people in that area died during Hurricane Helene. Rick Snyder tells 13 News he was serving with the Billy Graham Law Enforcement Chaplains Ministry. He said he saw the unbelievable damage firsthand.
Just yesterday, we learned of 2 more officers who had lost their homes completely, and we were just finding out about it almost 9 days after the fact. And when you talk to those officers, they would just they said, I didn't want to divert from everybody else getting the help they needed by having people help me. And I think that's just a testament to the servant's heart of our officers.
Well, here's how we can help here at home. The FOP is collecting supplies for police officers and their families in Asheville. You can donate by dropping off any items at the Indy FOP Lodge on Shelby Street through Friday, and then that truck with supplies is leaving for North Carolina on Saturday.
The recovery process after Hurricane Helene is just getting started, even in many places put on hold because they're waiting to see how bad the damage is from Hurricane Milton. If you would like to help, you can text Red Cross to the number you see here on your screen to make a $10 donation. That money will enable the Red Cross region to prepare for and respond to these types of disasters. Well, new this morning, Greensburg police are investigating a car that ran into a building and injured at least 7 people in the downtown area. That crash happened around 6:30 last night. Police say a gray Honda ran into the carriage on the square smokehouse. Now, 2 people were initially trapped under the car, but first responders were able to assist. Right now, we know that 2 of the 7 victims were airlifted in critical condition. 2 victims are stable and 3 others refused treatment. We are reaching out to investigators for more information about that crash.
Well, after a turbulent time in the Center Township Constable's office, that position is now vacant. Denise Hatch is pleading guilty to official misconduct and gun charges connected to multiple cases.
We know Hatch had several run-ins with the law enforcement, resulting in charges being filed. In February, she faced charges for official misconduct after allegedly stealing an item from a grocery store. That same month, she was charged in a separate incident for resisting law enforcement. In May, police arrested her yet again with a handgun. State Senator Aaron Freeman says Hatch's behavior is unacceptable.
I mean, we cannot have what happened in Center Township continue to happen. I mean, clearly it undermines the court process. It undermines law enforcement. I mean, we just can't have that kind of thing happen.
Since Hatch took a plea deal in the case, Indiana law states that she is automatically removed from office. The Marion County Democratic Party has to form a caucus to appoint a replacement. That's to happen for Hatch within 30 days. Well, this morning, a former Newcastle police lieutenant is waiting for sentencing. A jury convicted Aaron Strong of using excessive force against people in custody. We first told you about the investigation into Strong back in January of 2020. Since then, court documents revealed he physically abused a suspect and 2 pretrial detainees, made false statements to an Indiana State Police detective who was investigating an allegation against him. Court records also revealing incidents dating back to 2017 where Strong beat a suspect who had surrendered, and he also stomped on the head of a detainee who was complying with commands. He also is accused of shooting an inmate in the back with a beanbag round, fracturing that detainee's back. Now, Strong faces a maximum of 50 years in prison. He will be sentenced in January.
It is 6:08. Right now, fire investigators are looking for the person responsible for several house fires that they now believe were intentionally set. We first told you about these house fires as breaking news early Monday morning.
So we know the fires were all along Hamilton Avenue near Rural in Michigan. This morning, investigators say they have identified a person of interest. We have reached out to police to find out if that person has been arrested or any charges are pending.
We're working to find out what sparked an apartment complex fire. This was on the city's west side. Well, we do know now that the Wayne Township Fire Department says that fire started in a single unit, and at last check, firefighters believe this started in the attic of that apartment building. Our cameras captured those flames you just saw shooting out of the roof as crews were trying to put it out.
It's the nature of the beast when it comes to apartment fires. Anything in the attic will run the attic, and we got to go chase it down and cut it off.
So the department says several families were displaced, but thankfully no one was hurt. We know the Red Cross is helping them find somewhere to stay.
Well, day one of early voting in the books here in central Indiana. We stopped by the City County building yesterday to see how the early voting is playing out here in Indianapolis. We found plenty of voters waiting in line, eager to cast their vote in the big races on that ballot. Now, while the City County building is just one of the early voting locations, starting October 26, Indianapolis voters will also have 8 other locations where they can vote. You do have more time to cast your ballot early ahead of Election Day on November 5th. And remember, you can find everything you need to know if you do plan on voting. We certainly hope you do. We posted all of that information at WTHR.com/decision. That's where you can watch results come in as those votes are tallied on election night, November 5th. Hey, Lindsay.
All right, and as you're getting ready to head out the door this morning, know that we are pretty good as far as a traffic standpoint goes across the metro area. We are still going to be watching some new projects, though. They're expected to start 65 southbound. We'll talk about that in your traffic update. High pressure and control here locally, though, means sunny skies anticipated for today. Temperatures above average through the weekend, but a cooling trend by early next week. Your forecast is ahead as well.
Thank you, Lindsay. Over the past few years, you may have noticed your car insurance rates are soaring. I know mine are. This is mostly due to inflation.
A growing trend that may get cheaper rates. It all has to do with the way we drive. We'll explain that for you at 6:25.
And we are here at the Classic Cleaners where all the magic happens leading up to our annual Coats for Kids drive. Coming up, we'll break down how many coats they've collected so far and the big need they still need.